maybe her looks could have been, oh my god, this hair is the worst investment I think I've ever made. Hi ghouls, it's Foot and welcome back to the Drag Lair. Step inside if you dare because this week we're talking about Dragula Titan Season 2 Episode 6 and we're going to the ghost town. The Drag Lair. Woo! Oh my god, welcome back, my ghoul friends. It has been a week since we last talked. I missed you all. I just have to say thank you so much for tuning in every week. If you have been, if you're new, welcome. There is room for you. I really appreciate all of the views, the likes, and the comments. I read them all, so keep it coming. And if you are not subscribed, make sure you do that because I'm happy to see you and I hope you stay a while. So let's get into all of this Dragula drama. Just starting with what happened last week. It was the Holidays of Horrors Challenge. Abora was our winner, and Priscilla and Disasterina were in the bottom two. They were in the Ghostly Gallows, and we saw our very first disqualification with Zava Letta. We also did see our second double elimination with Priscilla and Disasterina, which I thought was wild. Just like the rest of the world, I think Priscilla was robbed. I don't think that she should have been eliminated. Maybe in the bottom, sure, but I don't think her performance or her costume were that bad. You know, normally we see that the ghouls are judged on performance and costume, and if they're lacking in one, the other kind of saves them. And that performance, oh my gosh, should have kept her out of elimination. But again, this is Titans, and this just goes to show that the Boulets are looking for the best of the best. And if you're not bringing 150%, if you're only bringing 90, then you're going to get chopped no matter the rules. They'll chop 4, 5, 6 queens at a time. And we have seen in the past 2 episodes that they are getting rid of these girls. And they really do not care. Before the episode was over last week, we were told that it was going to be a Ghostly Wild West challenge. So we've been sitting on this for about a week, and I have been so excited. I love the Ghost Challenge. Specifically, they're redoing Ghost Town from Season 2, not to be confused with the Weird Wild West of Season 4. Ghost Town of Season 2 was a Wild West challenge, but it really leans more into the ghost, where the Weird Wild West was more of a sci-fi western. I love the ghost challenges. I love the Wild West challenges. Who doesn't love like Wild West? Going back to the Wild West as this season's ghost challenge, I think is so smart. I think there's so much to do with Wild West. There's so many character types that you can kind of play with. And we'll see that everyone basically has something completely different. But the ghost challenge itself, I think, is so fun and so unique. This is basically like a giant character study challenge, you know? They're given a setting or a location or a time period, and they basically have to pick a character from that world and really deep dive into who they are, how do they relate to the universe, and overall, how do they die? We've seen this almost every single season. My favorite out of the ghost challenges, I would say, was the Season 2 one and the Season 5 one, the hotel. It's just so fun because I think this is the one challenge where yes, in every challenge they basically have to create a character, but in the ghost challenge I feel like everyone is creating a character in the same universe, and they feel like they kind of intermingle and connect, and it's like, oh, they all live next door to each other, and it's really fun to see them all come together, and they usually perform and interact, and it just feels like they're creating their own world. So before we get into the episode, let's talk about the scoreboard as is right now before the episode launches. Abora has 1 win, 2 bottoms. Sigourney has no wins, no bottoms. Eva and Jaharia, JK, and Blackberry all have 1 win and no bottoms. And Cynthia has no wins and 1 bottom. This is such an interesting scoreboard. We are basically almost 100% even. We are neck and neck. Everyone's basically on the same playing field. You really can't tell who's going to go home next. Everyone's pretty much the same across the board. So this just goes to show that this top 7 is nothing to joke about. They are here to play. This is probably, I would say, one of the strongest top sevens we've ever seen. Like, I really don't know who's going to go home. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know who's going to be in the top. Like, it literally could be anyone. And I think at this point, this is the most important time of the competition, right? We're at the halfway point. Everyone's basically straight across the board. And now it's win or lose. It is you got to win or you go home. They are, nitpicking these critiques. And now this is when the fire and everyone starts to light. Like, everyone wants the win so bad. This is where the fire is going to turn up. We open on our second episode on location. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks very similar to the ghost town in season 2. I don't know if they reused this set, if it's the exact same. Someone please tell me, but it looks almost identical. But we are on set, and you know how much I love when we go on location. It is just so fun. And this location set looked beautiful. There was so much to do. There were animals. JK was saying he was afraid of donkeys, like work diva. Everyone was having such a fun time. We see that Sigourney questions Jaharia's loyalty, and rightfully so. I even mentioned this last week. I was like, was this a smart move for her? Because we knew that was going to bite her in the butt. Jaharia went literally to the strong competition saying what JK told her. And now both sides are saying, hey, kind of don't trust you. And I wouldn't either. Before we get into that, they keep talking about gameplay and loyalty here. I just need to say, what game? What gameplay are we doing? Like, no one is being voted off. The ghouls don't have the power. Like, the most that they can do is, I guess, like, cast curses. But it's not like they get a curse every week. We've only seen 3 curses so far in this season. And only really one of them affected somebody specifically. Like, they're literally acting like they're in Fiji playing Survivor. Like, this is, like, life or death. Like, they have to, like, do gameplay. They have to strategize. Like, it's about to come down to a vote. And, like, can I trust you or not? Like, is the gameplay in the room with us? Because why are we doing this? Why are you playing a game for nothing? It feels like they're just saying gameplay for the sake of saying it and not actually doing the gameplay. Regardless, I don't think it was smart for Jaharia to tell Eva and Sigourney right then and there. Maybe wait a few minutes. Maybe tell one of them at a time. Like, maybe do something else to gain their trust before you say, hey, this is what JK said about you. Because it just makes you look exactly what Sigourney is seeing. So after them running around the town, Cynthia found a lasso and called it a hoopty. A hoopty. I have been saying that literally all day today. A hoopty. We get to these amazing floor show looks, starting with the boulets. Oh my gosh, these looks are so cool. Last week I kind of read them for being too simple. They kind of turned it. The makeup, the detailing, I like zoomed in on their faces. Oh my gosh, like they can paint the house down. And the top hat and the cape, like this is kind of what I wanted to be when I did my skeleton look. I wanted to look like this. But I love it. I love the choice of like white and beige. They don't necessarily they don't look like ghosts. They look like skeletons, obviously. But I love the choice of white. They're not going for like a ghostly thing, I don't think. I mean, I didn't get ghosts from this, but I thought this was really cool. Like they kind of redeemed themselves in my book from their last week's look. Our first contestant this week is Cynthia Dahl as the snake oil salesman. As a look, I liked this. Like, it's cool. She looks great. It's so detailed. She looks amazing. Where she fits in the universe of Wild West, I didn't see. It doesn't scream Wild West to me. She doesn't look like a stereotypical Wild West character. But the costume is really cool. The snake is really cool. All the vials of the green goo. Love that. But I think she got marked down because it just didn't look Wild West. She really got knocked down because they didn't like the execution of the look. I disagree. I thought it was really cool. But for me, I look at this and I'm not like, oh, you should be in like the Wild West. Like, she gives like traveling circus. Like, if there was like a ghostly circus, I could be like, totally, yeah, for sure. Next up, we have Eva Destruction as the gold miner. Oh my god. I loved this look. I loved her whole side just being covered in gold and the little gold down her body. She looks scary. She looks like a ghost. She looks like she would eat me. I love this. I was surprised this wasn't in the top, but she looks really, really good. Next up, we have Sigourney Beaver as the saloon girl. Okay, she kind of killed it for me this week. Each week I feel like I'm getting more and more on her side. And this week was no exception. When she was wearing that like burgundy dress, I was like, oh, work. I love the blue skin and the orange hair and the burgundy dress. Like the colors really popped. And then she took it off and I literally shouted out loud. I was like, oh, work. Like the pantaloons and the burgundy corset underneath to match. I was like, oh, bitch. Like, she slayed this. The orange hair does so much against her like blue skin. She killed it. She absolutely killed it. Moving on to Blackberry as the grave digger. This was not my favorite look, and I will tell you why. I don't like when people wear sets on them. We've seen this before in the past. People literally having set pieces taped to their freaking back, and you shouldn't need that. That's a little too much for me. Like, your character should stand on its own. I don't need a giant grave behind you. If you need that, then your costume isn't doing enough, right? You're not doing it right. Immediately I saw the grave and I went, no, like, take it off. And then maybe the spirits heard me because it literally started falling off her body. And it just wasn't cute. It wasn't cute at all. I like the little guy on her shoulder. He can stay. But like, this was just so distracting for me that I barely even was looking at her face. That I was just looking at this thing right behind her. Then moving on to Jaharia as the sheriff? Ranger? Both? I loved this. She got criticized for being like fading into the background or not being big enough. This was cool. Maybe like the colors were a little bit muted. I could see that, but I love the arrow sticking out of her. I totally got the story that she was telling. I thought her face looked severe. Her face looked really, 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 really scary. It was teetering in zombie. But the paleness and the paleness of the colors still kept it in ghost. The face and the mouth was giving zombie a little bit, but I loved this. I thought super, super, super scary. I loved the arrow sticking out of her. I thought it was such a clever idea. And like the bullets across from her, everything was like really, really detailed, and I loved it. And moving on to JK as the bank robber. This was not a look that I particularly enjoyed. I didn't really get Wild West from it, and I didn't get really Ghost from it either. This gave zombie. Like, if we're gonna talk about zombie, this gave zombie to me. And the hat was a cool idea, but I think because it was in her face, it looked like a wrestling mask. She looked like a wrestling zombie. And I couldn't stop thinking about that, like, as she was performing. Like, I was really trying to put her in Ghost Townville, but it wasn't working. It was giving zombie. And when she did her bit with Abora, that was really cool. But even then, the story didn't come out. Like, even when it was right in front of me, I was like, I still don't see how this is in this world. Lastly, Abora. Oh my god. I was nervous. I was nervous when she said she was going to redo her look from last time. Like, that look was so iconic. Like, how do you, like, do it and elevate it? And she really did. I love that she was the sheriff. And if you clock, the colors were inverted. The first time it was like white with black accents. This one was black with white accents, which, the thought of doing that is so smart. I loved the oversized weapons. Her padding was like lopsided, which I thought was super cool. It made it look like she was this drawn character and that she was drawn incorrectly, and I thought it was perfect. So out of all of these looks, the standouts for me were actually Abora and Eva. Again, I don't need to say more about Abora. She fucking killed it. But I really wished Eva got a little bit more recognition for her look, because I really thought it was so good. Like, the herpy gold down her body is just, it looked like a disease almost. Like, the gold became like this infection. Her and Jaharia were the only ones that I kind of like were scared by. I'm surprised that she didn't get like an almost win here. Then after the critiques, we see that they announced that there are going to be 2 winners, one for performance and one for look. And it is Sigourney for performance and Abora for look. I kind of agree with this, even if like in the parameters that there are going to be 2 winners. Sure, if there needs to be a performance one, yeah, I say that Sigourney is the correct winner, and I do think that Abora was the correct winner for the outfit as well. I think Sigourney was like the sexiest. I mean, like, it was a woman singing, and she was the only woman in the group. So it was like, I think it was a little bit easier for her to kind of sell the song. She's a saloon girl. She's supposed to be that type of girl. So props to her. Totally agree there as well. Bottom 2, it's Cynthia and Blackberry. I also agree with this. When Blackberry came out, again, it was the giant grave in the back that I was like, oh. And then when it started falling, I was like, oh, the kiss of death. As we went on, I was like, oh, who else could it have been? Everyone did so well. Process of elimination, I got to Cynthia only because, like, I was like, it couldn't be Eva, couldn't be Sigourney, definitely wasn't Abora, definitely wasn't Jaharia. I guess the 2 that I was debating between was JK and Cynthia, only because, to me, JK didn't read Ghost, and so I was like, oh, if they nab him for that, then he's gonna be in the bottom 2. Yes, it is Blackberry and Cynthia headed up for extermination. We have an extermination this episode, and it's so funny. I was on TikTok scrolling through, and I popped in on Cynthia's live, and before I saw the episode, she said that this is going to be the craziest extermination Dragula has seen, and I was like, well, can't wait. Can't wait now. She was right. She was absolutely right. In the cauldron, everyone's going around and saying who they think is going to basically survive the extermination. And everybody, literally everybody but Abora said that they think that Blackberry is going to come back, which kind of crazy. Kind of a hot take there, because I don't think Blackberry is coming back. I'm with Abora, and I think Cynthia is going to come back for sure. Yes, she was in the bottom once already, but just like the Boulay said, Cynthia is evolving in front of us in real time. And with Blackberry, I honestly think that we've seen it all. I really do think that we've seen it all, and I don't think that there's much new stuff to see from her. After everyone tells Cynthia that she is going to lose, we see the extermination, and they must lay in a coffin and be covered in live snakes. Would I do this? Absolutely the frick not. This is horrifying. We've seen bugs. We've seen like them suffocated, covered like in coffins covered in dirt. Live open snakes, and they're not small snakes. They are huge. Pythons? Maybe? I don't know my snakes. But they are big snakes. And after watching this, now I'm even more 100% sure that Cynthia's coming back, because the way that she was playing with them. She started singing Britney Spears, like she was hissing at them, like she won that extermination. We're getting ready for the Hellbound Showdown this week, and we get another message telling us that Jade was disqualified for breaking production rules, and she will not appear in the Hellbound Showdown anymore. I need to say, what the hell is going on with these Dragula girls? Like, are they like fighting the producers and then like doing blow off of their limp bodies? Like, literally, what do they keep doing to where now we have our second disqualification, not even elimination, disqualification. We had our very first one in Dragula history last week, and we have our second one the following week. This is wild to me. Like, I can't even fathom what you have to do to be disqualified. But let me say, this was probably my favorite Hellbound Showdown that we've seen this season. There was like something about it to where, I mean, we'll see that only one survived, but there was a hot minute where I was like, oh my god, I think they're both gonna make it. Because Jay's not there, it is Priscilla versus Disasterina. And they are basically lip-syncing the song that we saw before. She's also an oil snake salesman, and Priscilla is a saloon girl. And she starts breaking all of her props, and I was like, oh, I love this. Oh, I'm so here for this. Like, yes, diva. And the moment when they got down together and, like, Disasterina, like, held her by the fire, I was like, oh, this is art. This is art. That was the moment where I was like, oh, I think they're both going to stay. And then when they got up and Disasterina just started like twirling around and didn't know the words, I was like, oh, no, she's going home. That was freaking amazing. I loved that. Like, honestly, give me every Hellbound Showdown, Disasterina and Priscilla over and over again, because I know that they would do some crazy shit like that every single week. That was kind of a fast episode. There wasn't a lot to cover this week. Not a bunch of drama. Not, now that we're dwindling down to only 7, I feel like it just kind of flies by. But, wow, look at that. We are already at the end of the episode, everybody. One last question. Who, at this point, is going to win Dragula? That is a good question, Foot. I'll answer it. I think Abora is going to win. She did snag her second win, and ever since the first episode, it's very clear that she has done a 180, not just from season 2, but even from Titans 1, that she just has this whole new attitude. She is focused. She is like having fun, and you can see that it's coming out in her performance and her attitude in these challenges, and she's killing it. Now, I want to hear from you. Who were your favorites this week, and who were your least favorites this week? Were you gagged by the second disqualification? What do you think Jade did, and who do you think is going to win Dragula Titans Season 2? Well, that's it for this episode. Don't forget to drop a like and comment on this video, and don't forget to turn on your Drag Lair notification so you get alerted when I drop a video. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at callme.foot to keep up with what I'm doing. And I will see you next week when we're covering Dragula Titans Season 2, Episode 7. Oh my god, we're already at Episode 7 next week? Holy shit, we are flying through this season. Well, as always, stay fierce, stay freaky. I will see you in the lair. Bye.